Good evening. Hello, hello. It is a slightly cloudy Sunday, but welcome to Find My Pharmacy. This is Jamal, as always, Willis. And today I really wanted to cover percentages. May touch a little bit on proportions. I'll touch on it as I go through math, but really had some requests, very specific requests from my students. So I said I'd go ahead and take care of it for you. So I'll get at least one out this weekend. So hopefully this will get us started off. So in thinking about percentages, it's really the easiest way that I think of it is if 50% off at a store. If it's $24, then it's $12. And knowing that 50% just means half, that's how I look at it. Well, you look at a big chunk of something, and what would be half of that? Now, one little other option that I like is with something like 10%, because if you can get the feel for 10%, it really helps you with even calculating tips. Just double it for 20. So as an example, let's say you have a bill or check that is $54. All right, but what is 10% of 54? And this is somewhat what I mean going off proportions right here. If you have a percent, you have something out of 100. If you think of it like a cent, if you have 100 cents, you have a dollar. So you have 100 pennies, so out of 100. But so a percent is out of 100. Now, this is how you always set up a proportion. The unknown right here we'll just call X, and that's what we're looking at. What is 10% of $54 right here? Now, out of 100, 10%, since we have 100 cents and it's per each one, we just want to say 10. So that'd be 10%. And since we're looking for what 10% of 54 is, we put it across. You always match your terms, or match things up to where you want them. So we know that a percent is out of 100, and we know that whatever 10% of 54 is, it's out of 54 by kind of definition. So how will we approach this? Now, whenever you have a proportion, across an equal sign, just cross. Cross, multiply. So we do 10 times 54, and X, our unknown, out of 100. So 10 times 54 is 540. X times 100 would just be 100x. Now to figure out what that would be, 100. And whenever you're moving with 100 or any multiple of 10, I always like to show my little dips here. Because if you're just dividing, if you have two zeros from back here where this zero is, you go in. All right. So here, X would equal would be $5.40. Now, what if you saw that in the beginning? Because it looks like, since I'm not dividing by 2, there are no 2s, 3s, 4s, or 5s in there, it's just 10. So you can always just move that decimal right over to one spot, because it's 10%, and $5.40 still works. Now, if you notice, you multiply by 10, so it moves to the right one, but then dividing by 100, it moves back to the left twice. So working with more even numbers is always easier for me. Now, if that's true, though, if you're looking at, let's stay upright. If you have $68, what's 10% of that? Well, we know that it's 10, so we just move right here, and you have $6.80, because you just moved over to the left once. And 10% is always easy to work with. So I know that if I'm going to tip 20%, that, oh, if that's 10%, well, 20 is twice 10, and I know what 10% is. Well, take some figuring, but then you figure out, well, what's just twice that 10%? What would that be? $13.60. So it's still, there you go. It still works out in your favor by just remembering the little 10% trick there. So it's very helpful, very helpful. To use a different way that percentages can be helpful. Let's see. Actually, working in nuclear pharmacy, I do this calculation every day. What we do is we get something that is very consistent, and we say that this should read the same all the time, or at least in a certain measure of time that it's more than a few years. So with radiation, we would, easiest way to put it, the machine reads this as far as the amount of actual activity it's reading from a source. So let's say it spits out this number. And let's say that's yesterday. Now, put a little Y here for yesterday, keep track of it. And let's say today it reads well, just a little bit different. We were starting at 113,716, and today we're getting 113,100. And let's say tomorrow, because we always know the future, right? When we do it the next day, if you will. Extra one. All right. The next day, though, it's reading 111,109. Now, let's just compare yesterday to today and tomorrow. So from compared to yesterday, tomorrow here was actually reading much lower. But how do we know how much it has decreased? We want to keep track of that because you want to be within 10% for really the lifetime of the equipment, but in between calibrations. So, all right, between 113,716 and 111,109, there's a difference there, or a change of 2,607. And yes, I did pre-work these out. So between that amount and that's what we get. Now let's say we want to know what percent of 2,607 is from that 113,716. We go back to the proportion. And I'll open up a little room here. So of the 2,607, we want to know what percentage that is of the 113,716, because we're going from yesterday, what happened, to tomorrow, to make it drop by that much. And as we said before, I'll put it beneath here, your percent is out of 100. And that's what we don't know. What percent out of 100? So that's where our unknown is. Now, once again, you would cross multiply. I don't like that you can't see it. Let me scoot it over some. There we go. Works for me. Cross multiply. Once again, we're multiplying by 100, so it's a bunch of zeros. So go 1, whoop, 1,000. And this one, which I want to leave as a surprise, just to work out. And when you're typing it in, you do the 260,700 divided by 113,716. All right. Two here. Oh, nice. Two, 9%. So 2.29, well, 2.29% is what that would mean, because it's over the 100. It goes straight to being the percent. Now, in doing that, you've now filled in that spot, and you can say that's what the percent is, just to take it back to how it looks in the beginning. But, that's a lot more than what we would want difference, because we're trying to stay in 10%, at least on average. You want the numbers to look a little better. So, let's see, was it that bad today when we read it? So, just do just to keep simple. That'd be 113,716, or minus 113,100 would be 616. To use our same equation, 616, as far as the difference from, or the difference between these, 616, 7.6. We don't know what percentage it is, but it is still over 100. All right? Total you have, and what you're trying to figure out up top. Once again, 2 zeros, 1, 2. Handy dandy calculator. And y'all all know this obviously not my phone because it's working. Six. All right. Consistent. Oh, there's a zero in front, and it's still a percent. In doing it this way, it really does come out to 0.5% almost, right above 0.5%. But just because the number looks funny doesn't mean that it's incorrect. I do double check whenever I have things like that, because it can seem a little odd, and when numbers look funny, you do want to double check behind yourself regardless. But looking back, 616 of a difference, that doesn't look like a big difference between those two numbers. So it actually does make sense. So my answer looks good. This is actually minus, and the difference on this day, 0.54%. So percentages can be helpful. The information it gives you, just saying, okay, it's only deviating by this much. Oh, it's just not even a full percent off. Or today, oh, it dropped by, quite a bit. So maybe watch it. It looks to be a trend. It looks to be going down. So there are different interpretations you can pull from it, but in math, pharmacy, in general, it's very useful. And as I said, with that little 10% trick, it really is helpful if you're at a restaurant. It's not as though it may look really cool. It's like, oh, you did the math so fast, but once again, if it's $85, it already gives you the numbers you need. If you want to give 10% of that, well, 10, 10, $8.50. What's twice that to give 20? Oh, 16 plus 1. Oh, how about we give them about a, $17 tip. That's about 20%. Sounds real quick, sounds real nice, so it can be useful, and I hope this helps. Give me some feedback, and let me know any of the topics y'all need. I do still have the list, and hope it's helpful to everyone. So have a great day, and thank you for stopping in.